Okay, our first station for baseball is our catching and throwing station. So just like our other units, we have one cone on one side and a cone on the opposite. Now, if you notice, we've moved up 2 dots. Damien's moved up 2, and Jesus has moved up 2 dots. They don't have to be this close to each other, but you can either get this close, or Jesus can even step back a dot. So move back, Jesus. Okay, but they definitely either need to be 1 dot away or 2 dots away. Okay, now first off, you notice Jesus is making his W. Go ahead. So he's got his W right there at his chest. He gives Damien a target to throw to. Now when Damien throws, he's not going to throw it yet, but he's going to step with his opposite foot, and he's using his right hand. So right hand and then left foot before he throws. Okay, so go ahead and go back to where you are, Damien. Okay, so now we're going to start with our throwing and catching. Go ahead, Damien. Of course, he'll go to the end. Eli will come out to 2 dots. And then Jesus will step and throw. Good. Keep going. Y'all switch. Abraham makes his target. Good. Now, something else we can do is we can actually bounce the ball. So we'll step and throw. Make a bounce. Something else we can do is we can roll the ball. Step and roll. And the last thing we can do is we can actually, in baseball, how they hit the ball way up in the air, we can do a pop-up. So he's going to throw it way up in the air. Go ahead. And Eli has to move back to catch it. So that's our 3 options for catching. Okay, so this is our batting station. So again, we have 2 people behind the cone. They're about 2 dots back, so that way they don't get hit with the bat. So that's why Jesus is staying behind the cone. Now, Abraham is coming up to the ball. He's got his knees bent. He's got his elbows bent. And you notice his chin is touching his shoulder because that keeps his eyes looking down at the ball. Now, all we're doing, once he's ready, when Coach Tinsley blows the whistle, he's going to go ahead and take a swing. Good. Now, he's not going to go get his ball yet because there could be other people swinging. Once I see that everybody's done, I'll blow the whistle again. He'll drop his bat. He'll run, get the ball. And he's going to not throw it. He's going to set it back up and go to the end. And then Jesus will take his turn. Now, there can be times where you completely miss the ball. So Jesus, show us what that looks like. So he just completely misses. Okay? But that's okay because the ball didn't go anywhere. This time, I'm going to give Jesus another chance. Go ahead and keep swinging. So his second time he hits it, on the whistle, go get it. And again, he's running back. If we end up walking, we're going to waste time for everybody else. And sometimes, go ahead, Damien. Sometimes we make the mistake of hitting the tee instead of the ball. Go ahead, show us what that looks like. Uh-oh. Now the problem with that is the ball left the tee, so that's the only turn that Damien gets. So Damien will put his bat down, ball on the tee, and it'll be back to Abraham. And that is our batting station. So our last station is running the bases. Now this is outside on the concrete, so we need to be very careful that we're not going too fast because obviously if you fall down out here, you know exactly what it feels like. We have home plate right here. There's our first base, second base way out there, third base by the ropes, and then back to home. Here's our wall of cones that you do not cross. We have a cone that we're waiting behind. Normally we would have 30 people, but we only have 5. So Jesus is going to go first. He's going to take off running. Go ahead, Jesus. When he gets to first, Gabriel's going to take off. And then Jesus out there touching second. There's third. He's going to touch home, go around the cones, and then he comes back and gets at the end of the line. You notice they're just doing a nice, slow jog. No reason to pass anybody up for this. Damien goes all the way down, makes the turn, and gets back in line. And that is running the bases. Wonderful job, gentlemen. All right, this is the setup for aerobic baseball. We have one team out in the field, which is our yellow team. Now, you don't have to be on the bases, so Alexis can take a few steps forward. Ernesto can come up some, and Eduardo can come up, because really all we're doing is protecting the entire field. Now, we have the red team, which is hitting, so Xavier's the first batter, and then we've got two reds waiting in line. The black team over there is going to be on the bench, so that's why they're waiting behind the hitting team. Now, we have our out of bounds, which is the cones, and the cones. You have first base to your right after you hit, second base in the corner back there, third base where Eduardo is standing, and then all the way back to home. Okay, one of the ways that you get out in aerobic baseball is if you hit the tee. That is another way to get out is if you hit the ball out of the square. Go ahead. So that went completely past the cones, which means Christopher is out. Now another way to get out is if the other team catches the ball in the air before it hits the ground. So Oswaldo is going to take a swing. Go ahead. And Ernesto caught it before it touched the ground, which means Oswaldo is out. Okay, now when you hit the ball in aerobic baseball, you have two choices. Choice number one is that you can keep running the bases. Go ahead. So he hits, drops his bat, touches first, second, third, and then all the way back to home. Sometimes in aerobic baseball, you don't want to run all the bases because it looks like the team might get you out. So Christopher's going to hit. He'll run to first. He'll run to second, but he's going to stop there because the other team might have the ball and they might get him out. So he'll just stay right there. Okay, now we're going to show you what a real aerobic baseball game looks like. Go ahead, Winston. Okay, so Winston decided to stay at first because Xavier has the ball and probably would have got him out. So Winston cannot move now. He's going to stay there until Gustavo hits the ball now. Okay, so now we have Winston on first base, and now Gustavo is going to hit. Go ahead, Gustavo. Play it. Okay, now Xavier did try and tag him, but Winston got to the base before Xavier did. And Winston did not keep running because Xavier had the ball. So now we have somebody on second, and Gustavo is on first base. And that brings us to Abraham. Go ahead. Now, Abraham hit the tee. So that means that was the last batter, and that means the black team has to go to the field. Red team goes to the bench, and now the yellow team is going to be hitting. And that's how we rotate. So the team that was batting is now on the field. Yellow team that was on the bench moves to hitting, and then the red team who was on the field moves to the bench. Okay, so now Eduardo is going to go ahead and hit. Okay, so he tried to go to second, but Winston was able to throw the ball and tag him. So Eduardo is out, and that brings up Alexis. And Alexis hit the tee. That is 2 outs. And we only have one more batter left. Now, Ernesto is the last batter for the yellow team because both of the yellow players have already hit. So if Ernesto wants a point, he probably should not stop running, no matter what. Go ahead, Ernesto. Go, 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 go. Keep going, Ernesto. And he got tagged. So that is how we play aerobic baseball.